Rain hammered the greenhouse roof, a relentless rhythm against the backdrop of Lucy's discontent. Hunched over a wilting orchid, frustration gnawed at her. No matter how meticulously she recreated its natural habitat, the delicate flower refused to thrive under the sterile glow of fluorescent lights. Here, in the confines of the city's botanical garden, even nature felt imprisoned. A sudden crack of thunder echoed through the metal structure, followed by a blinding flash. By the time Lucy blinked the spots from her vision, the air crackled with an unfamiliar energy. The orchid, once limp and lifeless, pulsed with a vibrant green glow. Before Lucy could react, the very air shimmered, distorting the familiar rows of potted plants beyond recognition. Panic clawed at her throat as the greenhouse walls dissolved into swirling emerald mist. When the world solidified again, Lucy found herself sprawled on a bed of soft moss beneath a canopy of leaves impossibly large. Sunlight filtered through, dappling the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow. The air thrummed with an unseen energy, buzzing with life. A low, guttural hoot broke the silence. A pair of amber eyes glinted down at her from a branch above. Lucy stared, aghast, at the skeletal tree pulsing with an unnatural green light. The once vibrant flora around it lay choked and twisted, a stark contrast to the lush forest that surrounded them. Lucy stumbled out of the swirling emerald mist, blinking in the dappled sunlight that filtered through the dense canopy. A low growl rumbled from behind a nearby bush, and a massive brown bear emerged, its dark eyes fixed on her. Lucy froze, her heart pounding in her chest. "Well, well," the bear rumbled, its voice surprisingly deep and gravelly. "What have we here? A lost human?" Relief flooded Lucy. A talking bear was certainly unexpected, but somehow preferable to a hungry one. "Hello?" she stammered, forcing a smile. I seem to have gotten lost." The bear snorted. "Lost, are you? This isn't exactly a place humans stumble into." Before Lucy could explain further, a flash of red caught her eye. A fox, its fur the color of a setting sun, emerged from the undergrowth, its amber eyes narrowed in suspicion. "A human?" it snapped, its voice surprisingly high-pitched for such a wild creature. "What brings a creature of destruction to this sacred forest?" The bear chuckled, a low rumble that shook the ground beneath Lucy's feet. "Calm yourself, Willow. She seems harmless enough, lost and confused." The fox, who Lucy now knew was called Willow, sniffed the air dismissively. "Humans are always up to no good. They chop down trees, pollute the rivers. Who knows what damage this one will cause?" The bear lumbered closer to Lucy, peering down at her with surprising gentleness. "Don't listen to Willow," he rumbled. "She's all bark and no bite, especially when it comes to newcomers." Willow huffed, her tail twitching in annoyance. "Cody! You shouldn't encourage her. Who knows what kind of chaos she'll bring to Elysia?" Cody, the bear, shrugged his massive shoulders. "We'll just have to see, won't we? But for now, lost human, tell us your name." Taking a deep breath, Lucy straightened her shoulders. "My name is Lucy," she declared, her voice stronger than she expected. "And I promise I don't mean any harm. I want to help." Cody and Willow exchanged skeptical glances. The forest had been silent of human voices for centuries. Who knew what this one's arrival might mean for the delicate balance of Elysia? Lucy hesitated, not sure how to respond. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. The bear cocked its head, studying her intently. "Ah, you can't talk," it said, sounding almost amused. "Well, that's a first. Most strangers who end up here are creatures of the wild. They don't exactly need to speak." Her heart pounding, Lucy glanced around, taking in the lush forest surrounding her. The air was rich with the scent of loam and growing things, and she could hear the rustle of unseen creatures in the underbrush. "Where am I?" she finally managed to croak out. "Well, this is a fine pickle," a voice rasped, surprisingly dry for an owl. Lucy stared up, blinking in the dappled light. Perched on a branch above her was the same great horned owl that had hooted earlier. It tilted its head, regarding her with unblinking amber eyes. "You're not from around here, little one. This forest hasn't seen a human in centuries." The great horned owl hooted, the sound echoing through the trees. "You are in Elysia, a realm of nature untouched by man. But it seems that you have brought something with you." It trailed off, its gaze flickering briefly to the glowing orchid by her side. Lucy followed its gaze and gasped. The orchid's leaves had turned a deep, healthy green, and tiny buds were beginning to form along its stem. What is this place?" she whispered, a shiver running down her spine. "Oh my!" he rasped. "The influence of the Whispering Wyvern must be at work again." A tremor of unease ran through Lucy. The whispers of the forest, once filled with the joy of restoration, now carried a tremor of disquiet. "The Whispering Wyvern?" she echoed, the name sending shivers down her spine. Pip hooted softly. "A creature of shadow and malice, Lucy. It feeds on negativity and despair, its presence a blight upon the land. Legends speak of guardians, protectors attuned to the forest's magic, who once battled the wyvern and banished it from Elysia." His words hung heavy in the air. Guardians? The idea was both thrilling and terrifying. Could she, a botanist from the sterile confines of a city greenhouse, truly be one of these legendary protectors? "But the wyvern is gone, isn't it?" she asked, a sliver of hope flickering within her. Pip shook his head, a glint of worry in his amber eyes. "The wyvern is never truly gone, child. It exists in the shadows, ever watchful, waiting for an opportunity to return. The guardians, or whoever takes their place, must remain vigilant, for any imbalance in Elysia can be a foothold for the creature." Lucy's heart pounded in her chest. The weight of responsibility settled on her shoulders, heavy and unexpected. But alongside the fear, a spark of determination ignited. These whispers of guardians, these protectors of the forest, perhaps they weren't just stories after all. Perhaps she was meant to play a part in their legacy. Taking a deep breath, she straightened her shoulders and met Pip's gaze. "Then tell me what we need to do," she said, her voice stronger than she expected. "We need to stop the wyvern and protect Elysia, no matter what." Pip hooted in approval, a fierce glint in his eyes. "That's the spirit, little one. Now come. There's much we need to learn about the wyvern and the magic that can vanquish it." The great horned owl regarded her solemnly. "Elysia is a world of balance, where all living things exist in harmony. But there is darkness here now, a corruption that threatens to destroy everything. It is said that only one with a pure heart and a deep connection to nature can stop it." The owl paused, studying her face. "It seems that you are that one, little one. The fate of Elysia now rests in your hands." The weight of the owl's words settled on Lucy like a shroud. Fate? Harmony? This was all a bit much for a night spent trying to save a stubborn orchid. "Me? But I'm just a botanist," she stammered, feeling utterly unqualified for such a grand destiny. The owl hooted again, a short, derisive sound. "Don't underestimate yourself, little one. You humans may have forgotten your place in the natural order, but the world remembers. Now come. We don't have much time." The owl spread its impressive wings and launched itself into the air. Lucy scrambled to her feet, the glowing orchid tucked safely into her pocket. "Wait!" she called, following the owl's flight through the dense foliage. Just then, a flash of red streaked past her, catching her eye. It was a fox, the fur as vibrant as a sunset, perched defiantly on a low branch. It narrowed its amber eyes at Lucy, a glint of mischief sparkling within. "Well, well," the fox drawled, its voice surprisingly smooth for such a wild creature. "Looks like we have another visitor. Don't tell me you believe this old buzzard's tale about saving the world?" The owl hooted indignantly from a nearby branch. There is no time for your cynicism, Willow. We need her help. Willow, huh? Lucy interjected, a spark of defiance igniting in her own chest. And who are you to question me? The fox grinned, a sly glint in its eyes. The name's Willow, and if you're sticking with this grumpy old featherbrain, you're going to need a guide who actually knows this forest. The owl ruffled its feathers in protest, but Lucy couldn't help but feel a flicker of amusement at their bickering. Maybe this unexpected adventure wouldn't be so bad after all. Taking a deep breath, she straightened her shoulders and faced the unknown. All right, she declared, her voice stronger than she expected. Lead the way. And so began Lucy's journey, not just as a visitor in this fantastical realm, but as a potential inheritor of a legacy far older and grander than she could have ever imagined. With Pip as her guide and the whispers of the forest urging her on, she would face the darkness that threatened Elysia and embrace her destiny as one of its guardians. With the grumpy owl leading the way and the mischievous fox at her side, Lucy stepped deeper into the heart of Elysia, ready to face whatever fate, and talking animals, awaited her. The forest was alive with the sounds of rustling leaves, chirping birds, and the occasional scurrying of unseen creatures in the underbrush. The air was thick with the scent of earth and growing things, and the light that filtered through the canopy overhead was a delicate mix of green and gold. The owl stopped abruptly, perching itself on a branch above a small, crystal-clear stream. We must cross here, it informed them. The waters of this stream will help you see through the darkness and protect you from the creatures that lurk within. Lucy nodded, taking a tentative step forward. The water was cold against her skin, but it felt strangely invigorating. As she waded deeper, she noticed that the water seemed to glow from within, casting an ethereal light on the surrounding foliage. The effect was eerie, yet beautiful. As they emerged from the stream, they found themselves standing before a massive, ancient tree. Its trunk was as wide as a small house, and its branches stretched out in all directions, forming a dense canopy that blocked out the sunlight. Vines twisted around its massive roots, and strange, glowing fungi clung to its bark. The air around the tree seemed to hum with power. This is the World Tree, Willow explained, her voice hushed. It is the heart of Elysia, and it is here that you must confront the darkness. How do I do that? Lucy asked, her voice barely more than a whisper. The fox glanced at the owl, a knowing look in her amber eyes. You must restore balance to the tree, she said. But be warned, it will not be easy. The corruption runs deep, and the forces of darkness will not give up their hold without a fight. Lucy took a deep breath and nodded. She reached into her pocket, drawing out the glowing orchid. Its petals glowed brighter than ever, illuminating her face in their otherworldly light. With determination in her heart, and the spirit of Elysia at her side, she stepped forward, ready to face whatever awaited her beneath the World Tree. As she drew closer, the ancient tree seemed to loom larger and larger, its mighty branches blocking out the sky. The air grew thick with the scent of earth and magic, and she could feel the weight of centuries of history pressing down upon her. The owl fluttered to her shoulder, its sharp talons digging gently into her clothing. You must use the orchid to heal the wounds on the trunk of the tree, it whispered, its eyes fixed on a dark, rotting spot just below the tree's lowest branch. But be careful not to touch the corruption. It is poisonous to both you and the tree. Lucy nodded, her heart pounding in her chest. She approached the darkened spot on the trunk, the glowing orchid trembling in her outstretched hand. As she held it above the wound, the petals of the orchid began to glow brighter still, bathing the tree in a soft, ethereal light. She could feel the power of the World Tree coursing through her veins, strengthening her resolve. With a steady hand, she pressed the orchid against the wound, feeling the energy of the tree flowing through her and into the ancient wood. A soft, green light emanated from the contact, spreading outwards in ripples, as if the very fabric of reality was being stitched back together. The corruption seemed to recoil from the light, shrinking back into the darkness. As the last tendril of corruption was banished, the world tree shuddered and released a great sigh. The air grew clearer, and the light returned to the forest, banishing the shadows that had once threatened to consume it. Lucy stepped back, her chest heaving with relief and triumph. The owl and the fox exchanged proud glances, their eyes gleaming with respect. "Well done, child," the owl said, its voice deep and full of wisdom. "You have saved Elysia from the darkness." The fox nodded in agreement. "Yes, you've done well indeed. But now, it's time for you to make a choice. You can return to your old life, or you can stay here, in this world, and help us keep the balance." Lucy hesitated, the weight of her decision pressing down upon her. She looked into the wise old eyes of the owl and the mischievous amber eyes of the fox, and she knew that whatever choice she made, she would be forever changed. And so, with a deep breath, she made her decision. "I will stay," she said, her voice steady and true. "I will help you keep the balance, and protect this world from the darkness." The owl and the fox exchanged knowing looks once more. "Then," the owl said, "it is with great honor that I bestow upon you the title of Guardian of Elysia. May the spirits of the forest watch over you, and guide you in your new role." The fox nodded, her tail flicking contentedly. "And I, Willow, will be your guide and companion. Together we will ensure that the light always triumphs over the darkness, and that Elysia remains a beacon of hope in the world." With that, they turned and walked deeper into the forest, their footsteps light and sure on the path ahead. Lucy glanced back one last time at the world tree, its massive trunk now restored to its former glory. A warmth spread through her chest, and she knew, without a doubt, that she had found her true home. Weeks bled into months as Lucy settled into her new life as guardian of Elysia. The initial awe of the talking animals had faded, replaced by a comfortable camaraderie. Pip, the grumpy owl, remained a constant source of wisdom and, sometimes unwanted, advice. Willow, the sly fox, proved to be an invaluable companion, her knowledge of the forest's hidden paths and shortcuts unmatched. One crisp morning, while foraging for medicinal herbs, Lucy stumbled upon a clearing unlike any she'd seen before. Twisted black vines choked the life out of the once vibrant flora, and the air hung heavy with an oppressive silence. In the center, a gnarled, skeletal tree pulsed with a sickly green light. An unnatural chill snaked up Lucy's spine. This was the source of the darkness that still lingered at the edges of Elysia. This wasn't here before," Lucy whispered, her voice trembling. Pip landed on her shoulder, his amber eyes narrowed. "No," he rasped. "The Whispering Wyvern must be behind this." Legends whispered on the wind speak of the Whispering Wyvern, a creature born from the darkest corners of Elysia. Unlike the majestic dragons whispered about in faraway lands, the wyvern is a twisted parody, a being of pure shadow and malice. Its form is a monstrous mix of reptile and bird, with a barbed tail said to be as venomous as a serpent's kiss. Its wings, leathery and black as night, beat with a silence that chills the soul. The wyvern thrives on negativity and despair. It feeds on the fears and anxieties of living creatures, growing stronger with every ounce of misery it consumes. Its mere presence can warp the beauty of Elysia, twisting healthy flora into gnarled, corrupted parodies and draining the vibrancy from once thriving ecosystems. The whispers tell of a time before, when the wyvern was a constant threat to Elysia's existence. Its chilling presence choked the life from the forest, and its influence poisoned the hearts of even the most resilient creatures. It is said that the guardians of old, a group of powerful protectors attuned to the forest's magic, banded together to banish the wyvern. Through a series of trials that tested their courage and their connection to Elysia's spirit, they drove the wyvern back into the inky depths from which it came. However, the whispers warn that the wyvern is never truly gone. It exists in the shadows, ever watchful, waiting for an opportunity to return. Any imbalance in Elysia, any surge of negativity or despair, can be a foothold for the creature. The guardians, or whoever takes their place, must remain vigilant, ever prepared to face the Whispering Wyvern and banish it once more, should it ever dare to threaten the delicate balance of Elysia. And although it had been banished from Elysia centuries ago, but it seemed the recent vulnerability of the World Tree had lured it back. This discovery sent a jolt of fear through Lucy. The whispers of the forest, once filled with the joy of restoration, now echoed with a tremor of unease. The idyllic days of exploring hidden waterfalls and befriending curious creatures felt like a distant dream. The weight of her responsibility, as guardian, pressed down on her, heavy and urgent. With a determined glint in her eye, Lucy turned to Pip and Willow. "We need to stop it," she declared, her voice stronger than she expected. Pip hooted in approval. "We cannot fight it directly," he explained. "The wyvern feeds on negativity. We need to find a way to weaken it, to restore hope to the forest." Thus began a quest unlike any Lucy had ever imagined. Guided by Pip's knowledge and Willow's cunning, they embarked on a series of trials to awaken the dormant magic in different regions of Elysia. They helped a colony of bioluminescent beetles restore light to a cavern inhabited by reclusive glowshrooms. They mediated a territorial dispute between a grumpy badger and a family of playful otters, restoring laughter and harmony to a once tense riverbank. With each completed task, a flicker of life returned to the forest. The sickly green glow emanating from the corrupted tree began to recede, replaced by a faint, hopeful luminescence. Yet the trials weren't without danger. Shadowy tendrils lashed out from the corrupted tree, snapping at their heels, and the forest itself seemed to groan in protest as they ventured deeper into its corrupted heart. Finally, after weeks of tireless effort, they stood before the gnarled tree once more. The sickly green glow had been banished, replaced by a faint, flickering light. Lucy held the glowing orchid aloft, its emerald light a beacon against the encroaching darkness. As she touched it to the tree's bark, a wave of energy surged through her, a chorus of whispers filling her mind. They were the voices of the forest, a symphony of hope and resilience. Lucy channeled their collective strength, pushing back against the darkness with all her might. The skeletal tree shuddered, the gnarled branches twisting in agony. A monstrous roar echoed through the clearing, a sound that seemed to claw at her very soul. But Lucy held firm, the voices of the forest urging her on. With a final, earth-shaking tremor, the monstrous form resolved into a shadowy wisp, a creature of pure negativity shrieking in defiance before dissipating into nothingness. Light flooded back into the clearing, revealing the corrupted tree transformed. Gone were the twisted branches, replaced by vibrant green leaves that shimmered with a newfound life. Exhausted but exhilarated, Lucy collapsed onto the soft forest floor. Pip and Willow landed beside her, their expressions a mix of relief and awe. "You did it," Pip rasped, his voice thick with emotion. "You saved Elysia." Willow, ever the pragmatist, nudged Lucy with her snout. "Saved for now," she quipped. "But there's always something lurking in the shadows. Now, how about we celebrate with some juicy grubs? I know a place." As laughter echoed through the clearing, Lucy knew this was just the beginning of her adventures as guardian of Elysia. The forest was vast and full of mysteries, and she, with her newfound connection to nature and her trusty companions by her side, was ready to face whatever came next. The whispers of the forest, once filled with fear, now carried a melody of hope, a testament to the power of courage, resilience, and the unexpected heroes who rise to protect the world. Pip, ever the curious one, peered up at the newly restored tree, studying its leaves with wonder. "You know, Lucy, I've always thought trees were pretty amazing," he mused. "But I never realized just how much they had to say until now." Willow, on the other hand, was already scampering through the underbrush, sniffing out the scent of grubs. "Come on, you two," she called over her shoulder. "We've got a feast waiting for us." Her long ears twitched as she listened to the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of the forest's inhabitants. "It's going to be a good life, I can feel it." Lucy smiled at their newfound camaraderie, her hair swaying gently in the breeze. She took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of newly bloomed flowers and the rich, earthy aroma of the forest floor. Yes, she thought, it was going to be a good life indeed. And together they would protect Elysia for as long as they could. Their journey through the forest was a joyous one, filled with laughter and the sounds of their companions as they explored the lush greenery and vibrant wildlife that surrounded them. They stumbled upon a bubbling stream, its cool waters a welcome reprieve from the warmth of the day. Pip hopped from rock to rock, marveling at the insects that skittered across the surface, while Willow lapped at the water, contentedly cleaning her fur. As they continued on their way, they came across a small clearing dotted with brightly colored mushrooms. "Ooh!" Willow exclaimed, her tail wagging excitedly. "Look at all these fungi! I bet they taste delicious." Before Lucy could stop her, the fox had already begun gobbling up the mushrooms, her tiny face smeared with dirt. "They're fine," she assured them between bites. "Trust me." Lucy knelt down beside a particularly large mushroom, studying its intricate cap. "They are beautiful," she murmured, running her fingers over the smooth, velvety surface. "And who's to say they're not part of Elysia's plan? Maybe they hold some sort of secret power." Pip perked up at this, his eyes gleaming with curiosity. "Hey, he said, "maybe we could learn from them. About how to survive in the forest, about the different plants and animals. Maybe even how to use their powers to protect Elysia." Willow, ever the practical one, rolled her eyes. "Oh, great," she groaned. "Now we're going to turn into mushroom-obsessed freaks." They all shared a laugh before continuing on their way. The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor. Lucy, Pip, and Willow found themselves at the edge of a vast meadow, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. Fireflies blinked into existence one by one, like scattered stars against the twilight sky. "This place is magical," Lucy breathed, her heart swelling with awe. Pip landed on her shoulder, his amber eyes reflecting the fading light. "Indeed," he hooted softly. "This is the Whispering Glade, a place of peace and tranquility." Willow, ever the pragmatist, sniffed the air suspiciously. "It smells a bit too quiet," she grumbled. "Maybe there are some dangers lurking in the shadows." Pip scoffed. "Nonsense! This is a sacred place, even the most fearsome creatures wouldn't dare to cause trouble here." Suddenly, a rustle in the bushes made them all jump. A small, deer-like creature with shimmering fur and large, luminous eyes emerged from the undergrowth. Its gaze met Lucy's, and it let out a soft, melodic cry. "What is it?" Lucy whispered, feeling a strange connection to the creature. Pip's eyes widened in surprise. "A moonbeam fawn!" he exclaimed. "These creatures are incredibly rare, said to be messengers of the forest spirits." The fawn approached Lucy cautiously, nuzzling her hand with its soft nose. Its fur glowed even brighter, casting an ethereal light around them. "This must be a sign," Lucy murmured, her voice filled with wonder. "Maybe the forest spirits are welcoming me as their new guardian." The fawn let out another soft cry, then turned and began walking away, beckoning them to follow. Intrigued, Lucy exchanged glances with Pip and Willow. "Well, what are we waiting for?" Willow said, a hint of excitement in her voice. "Let's see where this magical creature leads us." And so, they followed the moonbeam fawn deeper into the Whispering Glade, the fireflies illuminating their path. The air grew cooler, and the sounds of the forest faded away, replaced by an eerie silence. Lucy felt a sense of anticipation building within her, unsure of what awaited them at the end of this strange journey. As they walked, the fawn led them past towering trees draped with luminous vines, and through meadows carpeted with bioluminescent flowers. The forest seemed to be alive with an unseen magic, pulsing with energy beneath the surface. Finally, they arrived at a clearing unlike any they had seen before. In the center stood a massive crystal, its facets reflecting the starlight in a mesmerizing display of colors. As they approached, the moonbeam fawn bowed its head in reverence and disappeared into the undergrowth. Lucy, Pip, and Willow stood in awestruck silence, gazing at the crystal. They could feel a powerful energy emanating from it, a sense of ancient wisdom and boundless potential. Pip flapped his wings, a low hum emanating from his throat. "This is a source of great magic," he whispered, his voice reverent. "A wellspring of life force that sustains the very heart of Elysia." Willow squinted at the crystal. "But what does it do?" she asked, her voice practical. "Can we use it to fight the darkness?" Lucy pondered this for a moment, her fingers brushing against the cool surface of the crystal. "I don't know," she admitted. "But I believe it holds the key to protecting this world. Perhaps the forest spirits will guide me on how to use its power." She closed her eyes, focusing on the energy radiating from the crystal. Images flooded her mind, visions of the forest in perfect harmony, of creatures living in peaceful coexistence, and of a delicate balance between nature and magic. A sense of calm washed over Lucy, and she knew with a certainty that she was on the right path. This crystal was not just a weapon against darkness, but a symbol of hope, a reminder of the true potential of Elysia. As they stood bathed in the otherworldly glow of the crystal, Lucy knew their journey had just begun. The forest held countless secrets waiting to be discovered, and she, along with her newfound companions, was ready to face any challenge that came their way. With the power of nature at their side, they would protect Elysia and ensure its continued harmony for generations to come. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to stay updated with our latest stories, give us a like if you want to see more, and drop a comment below to let us know your thoughts.